This tragic love story is proof that Adrienette is endgame. Want to find out why? Well, keep watching. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. In this video, we are going to be analysing the episode's reunion and transmission, which is Kwame's Choice Part 1. So if you want to hear my thoughts, stick around, give this video a thumbs up, and for new viewers, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button for post notifications. Without further ado, let's begin. First of all, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about what's been happening regarding the show. I know we've probably all seen the leaks and practically the entire season has been spoiled, which is both frustrating and a huge disappointment. Like, come on Zag, security much? The fact that this has been going on for years is what makes this even more absurd than it already is. And I think we deserve better than that as a fandom. Considering season 5 so far has been pretty strong, and Thomas Astruc said the season needs to be watched in order to not only understand the storyline, but to enjoy the full experience of the season that wraps up the first narrative arc. Yeah, it kind of breaks my heart that yet again, episodes, storyboards, scripts, you name it, have been leaked. It's honestly why I barely kept up with uploading content regularly, because I thought I could try to avoid them until upcoming episodes are released in order. But it's starting to affect my channel. So, I gave up trying.
I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first, Lucius.
And I promise you.
I have seen a lot of the leaks regarding the later episodes. And let me tell you, it's a lot. I won't be discussing them at all until the end of this season, but for now, I'm just going to be analysing the episodes that have been released legally, even if they are out of order, so I am truly sorry about that. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to put that out there since I have been quiet for about 2 months. Of course, feel free to share your thoughts about this whole messy situation in the comments. Okay, now we can get to the fun stuff. Reunion was a great episode. I found it refreshing because it's not your usual miraculous episode. To briefly summarize it, the class are invited to the museum by Mr. Kubdel after Alex sent him a letter with photos of her time-traveling adventures. Marinette finds the perfect opportunity to try and contact one of the previous miraculous holders using her Quagatama to ask her if the holder of the Ladybug Miraculous and the holder of the Black Cat Miraculous have ever fallen in love. She's basically trying to gain clarity and she's clinging on to the hope that there is a chance for her in Cat Noir. The holder she contacts is Joan of Arc, who lived approximately 600 years ago. Meanwhile, Jalil, Alex's older brother, is akumatized because he believes that Ladybug coerced Alex into leaving, when actually, Alex chose to fulfill her duty as the holder of the Rabbit Miraculous. During the Akuma battle, we see just how different Marinette is from Joan. Joan is described as having a hot temper and was a skilled fighter, whereas Marinette is a thinker, often choosing to result in reasoning rather than jump into a fight, an effective method that's always helped her win the battle. Funny enough, one thing I did realize, which I absolutely had to mention in this video, is the fact that Joan's special weapon was a sword, but when Ladybug summons her lucky charm, she receives a fountain pen. Now, there's a famous saying, the pen is mightier than the sword, which is just a fancy way of saying that thinking and writing have more influence on people than the use of force or violence, which is exactly how Ladybug breaks through to Jalil, motivating him to break free from the Akuma. Impressed by Ladybug, Joan decides to tell Marinette of her tragic love story. Around 600 years ago, the Kingdom of England was protected by a hero who wielded the Miraculous of Destruction, and his name was Dark Grimalkin. The Duke of Bedford, then regent, had ordered him to help the English armies to subdue France. It was then that the King of France appointed Joan of Arc to restore balance by entrusting her with the Ladybug Miraculous, and thus she became known as Scarlet Fate. The two holders fought for years until they realized they were being manipulated by their monarchs, who only wanted power and neglected the needs of the people of their nations. The two holders fell in love and kept their relationship a secret until they were caught and sentenced to death by burning of the stake. Yikes. But they managed to escape when Joan supposedly summoned her lucky charm. Upon realizing that the miraculous are a burden on their love, they decided to relinquish that very same power and flee, leaving everything behind. Unfortunately for Marinette, Joan isn't able to tell her whether she lived happily ever after, because the Joan she's talking to is simply a memory, meaning she's only able to recall the events that happened in her life, up until the point she gave up being Scarlet Fate. But how does this affect Adrienette? Does this mean they're destined for tragedy, as previous episodes such as Cat Blanc and Ephemeral have implied? No, quite the opposite actually. Now with this, I'm going to analyze Kwame's Choice Part 1. Transmission takes place after Elation, in which we all know Marie-Chat kissed. Unfortunately, Marie-Chat will just never work. We then see the aftermath of that as Marinette and Adrien are pretty torn that they can never be together. Despite trying to get through to her, confessing that he loves Marinette just the way she is, Marinette accepts that love will just never work out for her because she's tied to her duties as Ladybug. And even then, she believes that she hasn't been doing a good job at that. The Kwames reach a difficult decision and conclude that they'd much rather see their holders happy, meaning they need to free them of the miraculous. When they relinquish the miraculous, suddenly everything just makes sense. They are free from the burden. Marinette confesses that she was in love with Adrien and that there could still be a chance of them being a couple. Whilst Scarabella and Kitty Noir do their thing, Adrienette get closer and are relieved to find that the new holders are capable and Paris is in good hands. But of course, at the end of the episode, Gabriel gets an alert from his alliance ring that hints he may figure out who Kitty Noir and Scarabella are, since they have their own alliance ring and all the rings are connected to Gabriel. It's very creepy and stalkerish. Okay, Grace, where are you going with this? Well, I'll tell you. Despite finding new holders, Gabriel, or Monarch, will always be a threat because he's one step ahead. Obviously, we know from later episodes, Marinette and Adrien return as Ladybug and Cat Noir. Unfortunately, and this isn't to dunk on Marinette, but no amount of plans is going to beat Gabriel. The only way to beat him is by facing him head on, because he's got everything premeditated. There's no time to waste trying to think of a plan, and that's why she thinks she's doing a terrible job. Despite having a plan and a backup plan and a backup plan for the backup plan, she still ended up in the position she's in. And this isn't to blame Marinette, by the way. I'm just saying that things play out in the way it's supposed to play out, and no amount of planning can avoid that. Her failure with love has nothing to do with her or Adrien. It has everything to do with Gabriel/Monarch. Now pay attention to Tiki's line of dialogue here.
No, they're made for each other. Love is what gives them their strength.
Their love makes them stronger, and it's that same love that makes them exceptional holders and an exceptional team. It's the fact that they love each other so much, both in and out of the costume, that makes them a stronger team. Which is why I think Miraculous isn't a tragic love story. It's a love story where challenges are overcome. Yes, the previous holders, Joanne and Grimokin, probably had a tragic love story as implied, but I think the purpose of this series is that because it's emphasized numerous times that there hasn't been an exceptional holder like Marinette and Adrien, it means they will accomplish things that previous holders didn't get to accomplish. In other words, they are breaking generational cycles. History doesn't have to repeat itself with Marinette and Adrien. In fact, it won't. It doesn't have to end in Adrien and Marinette giving up being superheroes. Them becoming superheroes is the best thing that's happened to them, even with all of the pain that's come with it. There's always a balance, and I think they'll find that balance. I mean, I'm assuming they do because these pictures prove that they turned out just fine. Lady Noir are best friends, Adrienette is a couple, everything worked out. For now. But yeah, that was just my interpretation on those episodes and how that transpires in Adrienette's relationship. Of course, I would love to hear your thoughts. How did you feel about Reunion and Transmission? Loved it? Hated it? Let me know in the comments. But as for today, that's it from me, and I'll see you again next time.